crackle, and pop. No, but whenever those sounds are there, the elves have to be there. World War II was a heck of a time.
They were like, those poor little elves.
Roll the intro.
Hello? No, I know. No, don't worry about it. Season 4 starts right now.
Let's go!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Under the Influence. That was a little low energy, I'm sorry. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Under the Influence of Jesus. Christian Influence's primary podcast here online. I say primary, but you know what? We get more viewership on the other one now, but you know, whatever. This is the one where we talk to you and we talk to each other. The other one, if you're wondering what I'm referencing, is called Of Lore and Legend. That is our D&D podcast. If you like Dungeons and Dragons, you should go check it out because it's an actual play D&D podcast that Levi puts a lot of time into editing. And I say editing because, you know, that's important. That's an important distinction because often they're just, you know, played and like you get everything in it. But this, you get all the fun stuff, but he takes out all the tedious dice, like the time where it's going like, and then everyone's waiting, and then you hear somebody going like 1, 11, 64, 156.
Or when people have rule checks that they take 10 minutes to look through a book while everybody's discussing.
Can I swing a sword? I don't know.
Yeah.
What does this spell do? I'm casting this spell. Oh, wait. I don't think that's the spell I want to cast. I want to cast something different, but let me find it.
But for those of you that want to hear those sorts of things, we have a separate podcast where everything that Levi cuts, he puts together and dumps.
Could you imagine?
It's just like,
it's the most boring thing in the world because there's so much just pause of just nothing, and then all of a sudden, crash.
and
just
and then somebody
banging
going,
on tables.
I don't think that's how that works.
And you're going to have...
And then just a ton of breathing.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. We're getting distracted. We have a guest here today. Welcome. Kaden.
Q.
Kaden.
Yes,
Oh, you
that
just
works.
Want Q.
We're going with Q.
Oh,
Q.
you
Let's go
seem
with
pretty.
Q.
You seem pretty. That's what you want, huh? All right.
Well, because nobody knows how to pronounce my last name.
Can I try?
Sure.
Quinones?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Quinones?
No.
No.
Quinones?
Closer, but not really.
Wow. How do you actually pronounce it then?
It's Quinones.
So it's not like the guy from TV.
No.
Quinones. What's his name?
I don't know who you're
the,
talking
the
about.
Catch a Predator guy? Not Catch a Predator guy.
What?
There's that one crime show.
I'm so confused.
And it was like a meme for a while. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Better Call Saul.
Caden Q. Here he is.
Oh, yeah.
Q for cutie.
Q for cutie.
No, Caden goes to Creekside with Levi and I. He helps serve there. He does a lot of the media stuff. So live stream and things like that. He also went to the same school we went to. Just graduated a few years after we did.
Just a few.
Just like 10 years after Byron did.
Yeah, it was like a decade.
Yeah.
It was a whole decade. No,
Decade.
Caden's a cool guy. He also helps with Christian Influence. He was involved in Christian Influence before I was. I think just a little bit before. And so he's one of our server admins on there. So if you want to, here's where I'll plug it. If you want to get more involved with what we're doing here at Christian Influence, go check out discord.gg/Christian Influence. You can get involved with the community there. There's also a whole section for this podcast where you can hang out and talk about the things that we're talking about, comment on the things that, you did or didn't like about the show. And you can do it there. But also, that whole community is dedicated to being a Christian influence online. So it's a community surrounding that. So that means there's a ton of stuff you can do. Bible studies, prayer partners. You get it. You got it. Even memes. Good. Send some memes, Or just go there, go to the admin tab, find the username Spiral Ash, and send him the entire script to the B movie. Or all your problems. That too. That sounds like you would have problems, but yeah, we're excited to have him. We should have had him as a guest sooner, kind of like with Tim. These people that have been involved with Christian Influence since the beginning. It seems wise to have them on as guests, right? It would be, I don't know if wise is Like, it's very wise to have these people as guests. But you know what I mean? Seems like a good idea, and we haven't done it sooner. We probably should have. But Kaden, put you on the spot here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am old.
Oh, really?
Not really, but like, I don't know. I feel old.
You feel old? Why do you feel old?
I don't know.
Yeah, you have to be close to
Yeah.
your mic.
Okay.
Welcome to showbiz, kid.
I don't really know. I'm going to college, so that feels pretty old to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To University of Oregon, right?
No.
You're not U of O?
No.
No, he's not U of O, if you can tell.
Yeah.
Ohio
By
State.
his patriotism. Nobody at U of O is a patriot.
Yeah, I'm going to
Got him.
I mean, am I wrong? It's in Eugene.
You're going to
It's in Eugene.
you're going to OSU, right?
Yeah.
Ohio State University.
Yes.
Ohio.
Is there an OSU in Ohio? Oh, probably, right?
Ohio State University.
Yeah.
It really is. That's what I
Yeah,
meant. Like,
yeah.
is it actually called that?
Yeah, so if you type in OSU, I went to Oregon State. If you type in OSU, like my OSU, it sends you to Ohio State
Yeah.
every time, and it's so
That's lame.
frustrating.
I'm gonna put this down.
So frustrating.
Fits just perfectly. That's kind of lame. So they're just more popular than we are?
No, they got the
Oh, they got
URL.
the
They got the URL link of OSU.
Yeah.
turds.
Yeah, very
That's
frustrating.
good. I didn't go to college, so I didn't have the. Well, I did. I went for a term to a community college. What? You're laughing over here. What in the world?
Because we were in the
Byron
same
is
class.
such an elitist.
we were
Yeah.
I was like, I'm still in college, loser.
no, we were in the same class. We did
Yeah,
the classes together.
we did just one together, right?
We did. Yeah, just one.
Yeah. I mean, I had to take that class twice, but
I had to take that class twice. Also.
oh, you did?
did.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I definitely did.
I
not
just
do
gave
well.
up on the second one with college as a whole.
You were just done.
Term 2, I was like, you know what?
I'm done.
I don't want to do this, but went 2 terms for free and then stopped. So it's one of those things where, the government kind of actually, you fill out financial aid and they're like, we'll give you this much money. And I had money left over. So I got paid to go basically. And then I stopped going, which feels kind of scummy, but
You should feel scummy.
Thank you. But I
Yeah.
didn't go because I didn't want to and because I didn't think that I had any direction. And so I was like, man, why am I wasting my time and somebody's money being here? And so, yeah, here I am. Look at me now. Wearing a Ghostbusters shirt.
Ghostbusters.
Look at you now.
Yeah.
Kaden, are you in the first year?
First grade?
No.
Yeah, are you
I'm
in
in
first grade?
Are you first?
I'm in first grade.
Are you a freshman
No.
at Oregon State, or are you?
I am a junior at Oregon State.
Did you do your first 2 at the community college?
Yeah.
Okay.
The community college.
The community.
The
college.
only one.
Everyone knows.
What kind of student are you?
Everybody outside of Oregon might know.
I am a mechanical engineering student.
Nice.
Cooler than what I was doing.
Maybe just a little bit.
Yeah. Because I was doing nothing.
That's fair.
So to icebreaker things a little bit here, we've got an introductory hypothetical. We like to do this. This one I picked specifically with you in mind, Kaden, because I know about your aspirations for political office someday. If you were the president, what day are you making a national holiday? And I don't think that this means that, there's a holiday that isn't classified as national and we're switching it to that. What are you making a national holiday? What's your federal holiday?
April Fool's Day.
So you are taking one that's not yet a recognized one.
Yeah.
And you're jumping it to a federal. Why April Fool's Day?
Because we want more people to celebrate it, more pranks. But it's going to be one that you have to go to work. You still have to work it, but you have to observe it. Because if you're not going into work, then what's the point in
That's what I was
also,
thinking.
it's almost also like you're playing a prank on people being like, here's a federal holiday. The only one you have to go to work.
Yeah.
Mandatory work day.
Mandatory work day. April 1st. It's no PTO. You have to be in the
So
office.
it's a federally recognized blackout day.
Yes. It's a federally recognized blackout
So
day.
employers,
You have to work, but not too seriously.
employers get in trouble if they don't black it out for PTO.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's quite. I mean, they're gonna love that.
I mean,
that's the
it's-
best. Every
It's honestly the
corporation.
best, that's the best April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The government is
putting
playing-
an April Fool's joke. You have to go to work.
That's mean, dude.
No,
okay.
but like, if you don't have people go into work, then there's so many people that are just gonna be at home, not experiencing the joys of being pranked and pranking other people.
The joys.
Yeah. You know, I don't think since I was like 7 years old, I've really pulled an April Fool's Day prank.
But I think if we make it a national holiday where everyone has to go in, do you think people are going to want to work that day, or are they going to want to pull pranks while they're at work that day?
Sure. Do you think if it gets more federal recognition like that more people will, or less people will be fooled because it'll be more in their minds? Like, I think one thing that helps April Fool's Day work is that it slides under the radar.
It slides under the radar.
Like the times I've been pranked, it's because I forgot it existed.
Yeah.
But you'll get way better pranks because everybody's already going to be on edge and people are going to have to
I don't think so.
do better.
You're saying
Like,
the need,
people-
capitalism kind of like.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying. If everybody's super, you better try harder to be.
You better try harder to be.
That's interesting. I've sooner than pulling an April, I think more recently than my last April Fool's Day prank, I actually did a Father's Day prank when I was in high school. I bought my dad like it's a boy thing and like a gift card to Babies R Us or something and said that he was a grandfather. He didn't believe it. It didn't work. And then the implication, I was like, what have I done? I've essentially implied and admitted to something that I don't want to admit to. So then I had to play it like, I know I made a mistake. I'm really sorry. And then I was like, this just feels really weird. And then he's like, then he obviously was like, I don't believe you. And I was like, yeah, that sucked. Like that was not funny.
How long ago was this?
I was in high school, so
Okay. Like
Yeah, because now,
years ago?
I mean
14 years ago.
10. No, 8. I was a junior, so probably 8 years ago.
No, it's longer than that. Junior, it was either 9 or 10.
No, it would be. It's
Juniors?
2024 right now. We graduated in 2016. So then I guess
we graduated 8 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was the summer between junior and senior year. Right? Oh no, when is Father's Day? It's in summer. Yeah, so it would have been 2015, 2016. So yeah, 9 years ago. There you go. Not 14 though. Excuse
Not
you.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you make of a national holiday?
I don't know. National Squirrel Day.
What day?
Just any day. Pick a random day of the week. Maybe
Wait,
like
does it change every year?
No, make it
Oh,
like
okay,
a
so
Thursday
ridiculous.
in the fall sometime.
Why not make it a Wednesday so that like people would have to take like
Well, no, because
not April Fool's
week?
if it's Thursday, then people can take Friday off and then have a 4-day weekend.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Basically-
Or if it's Friday, they just get a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, but 4-day weekend is better.
Yeah.
Or if it's a Tuesday, you take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and then you only come in Monday.
Yeah. But
Coming Monday.
but you're yeah. If it's Thursday, then you're condemning. Well, I don't know if condemning is the right word, but you're like basically dooming the people that don't have the PTO. They have to, which is the worst. When you get a Thursday off, and then you're like, you come back for a
You
day.
have to come in for a day, and
So
then you get your
terrible.
I don't know what that's like. I just did that.
You just did that. I've done that a lot when I was working at McKesson.
Sucks.
Except it was nights, and the last day of the week for me was Thursday. So, but yeah, it's not fun doing that. Okay, so National Squirrel Day, you said
Yeah, basically
a
it's-
Wednesday in the fall. I mean,
yeah,
a Thursday in the fall.
Wednesday, Thursday in the fall. It's basically when the squirrel goes into the tree and never comes out ever again.
Whoa.
Oh, so
Or until
their
spring at
their
least.
hibernation.
Their hibernation.
Oh, so we're
So it's
celebrating.
like Groundhog Day, but like
In reverse.
opposite.
So we're celebrating squirrels being gone.
Yes.
Sweet.
no more squirrels.
Yeah.
No more squirrels.
Down with the squirrels.
Squirrels
I like that
being gone.
Squirrel Day is the day that they're all gone.
That they're leaving.
Yeah. So you can celebrate them.
It's squirrels being gone and winter coming.
Huh. Okay. So it's kind of like it's a celebration of change.
Yeah.
How do we celebrate? Like, what is the structure of celebration? Like, we know for his, you go to work and play pranks on people. For squirrels, what do? We just watch them go into their holes.
Well, we all gather around a tree, and then we watch a squirrel hibernate,
Oh, we watch it hibernate. Look at it sleep.
and then we throw a giant parade.
wake up the squirrel.
Wake up the squirrel.
He's asleep. Woo!
No, we'll have the parade somewhere else.
Okay.
So we don't wake up the squirrel.
That's nice.
Okay.
See, that's a
You have to choose a street without any trees on it.
yeah. So I mean, everybody just has their parade in Nevada.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or New Mexico. Okay, I'm gonna have not thought about this at all, so I want to make one up. You know, do you have one, Byron?
What you think? Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Mine is Gone Sunny. It's July 11th.
Gone sunny.
Gone Sunny.
What does that mean?
You go out and enjoy the sun because on average, July 11th, theoretically, has the least chance of rain, at least in Oregon.
Really?
Yeah, it's only rained on
Even though
July-
it's hotter later?
It's only rained on July 11th, I think 3 times in the last 15 years. So
So
okay,
a fifth of the is it 20%?
I think it's less than that, but whatever.
In 15 years, 3
15,
years if 3 years out of 15 would be 1/5,
Yeah, that's
right?
1/5.
1/5.
So that is 20%.
Sure.
But
But your odds of having a sunny day
Yeah.
are much more likely on the 11th.
That surprises me. Then even like, you know, the first week of August here in Oregon is always like 118 degrees.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember it ever raining during that. Hot rain.
I don't know. It's just what I heard. Now
That's crazy.
Now my facts may be wrong, but
So it's going to be, so the celebration is like,
just go out and enjoy the sun.
so, okay. So
Go-
I was going
go
to say
have
like,
go have a day
people
off.
outside of
have a
Oregon,
picnic.
they're like, it rains every July 11th.
Well, then, sorry.
Go out and
My
enjoy
bad.
the rain, the sunny
Yeah.
rain shine, sunny rain shine,
Sunny rain.
sunny
you're in-
rainfall.
You're in Alaska and you're just like,
See what
I hate this day.
It's just blizzarding out.
yeah.
See, you would have to figure out the most on average U.S. U.S.
For-
Yeah.
what has the least amount of rain statistically, and you're like, okay, this day, gone
Yeah.
sunny, go out and have
Gone
some-
sunny. Where's the name come from? Gone sunny.
I don't know.
You just made it up?
Just pulled that out
Oh.
of my butt.
It just, it just sounded like maybe something you were like referencing. Gone
No.
sunny. Like, oh, that's cool. Okay, that's a good one. So it's kind of like an adult summer vacation. Like you
it's
get
100
one.
Yeah.
But it's like, I know you don't get summer vacations anymore, and it's one of the biggest things that's a bummer about life. But here's a day.
Because if you think about it, July 4th, we have fireworks, you have picnics, you have all that kind of stuff.
It's
and you-
exhausting.
Like, it's exhausting.
It's
You have all these things to do.
Yeah.
And then like all the other holidays are like usually get-togethers or like stuff like that.
Yeah.
This one's just go outside,
Go outside.
go do something.
And lots of people, because it's sunny, will spend it indoors in the AC.
100%.
Yeah.
But go outside.
But they'll appreciate the day off from work. I'm going to say National Game Day. So it can be because I think there is a National Game Day, but it's not the federal recognized ones. But you get a day off to play games.
Would you do it in the summer or the winter or fall?
I hate summertime. So just kidding. It is probably my
Much
least
rather
favorite.
Do it in the winter.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm thinking board games. And there's something cozy about being in the house while it's cold outside.
Crackling fire.
Crackling
sitting
fire.
around.
Yeah. That fire snapping, crackling, and popping in the corner. Those poor little elves.
They have to make every single time that there's a pop, snapple, or crack.
Snap, yeah.
Whatever the second one is.
Well,
What's the second?
Snapple is a drink.
Yeah, I know.
Snap,
I know,
crack.
I know.
You just make snap and crack.
It's crackle.
Snack, crackle,
Snap,
pop.
crackle, and pop. No, but whenever those sounds are there, the elves have to be there. World War II was a heck of a time.
They were like, those poor little elves. Yeah, but I guess it could be used for any sort of game. Because like if you do the summertime, then people are going to go out and play sport games, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just, I think you could totally spin it. Like the American government is like, we work too hard, guys, as people, and everyone is so focused on working and doing all this sort of stuff, and we want to emphasize that there is rest and relaxation that comes in the form of gathering together and enjoying a game, right? And games have goals to accomplish, and you can work towards as a team, and whatever game you want to play, go play a game, but take the day off from work and go play a game. And really my goal would be to get all the people that hate games to have to play one. So like They're like, I hate board games. It's like, that's a bummer.
That's a bummer. You have to go and play them.
You're legally required. You're obligated. No. But maybe it would make more people like them.
Just like, you have to play this board game. Roll the dice, move the mice, and no one gets hurt.
Yeah. What are you here?
Oh, Levi, that's beautiful.
What are you here for? Failed to play Chutes and Ladders. Sorry. Man.
So when I picked up my card, it said go to jail. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. It said go to jail and don't pass go.
Don't pass go.
All right. So there's our national holidays. National Game Day. National April Fool's Day. National Observe a Squirrel. I mean, probably the best one that we came up with here is Observe a Squirrel Day. That's pretty good. And then Sunny, what's it? Sunny Out?
Gone Sunny.
Gone Sunny.
Gone Sunny.
Sunny Out. Gone Sunny. That's probably the one with the best name.
Sun's out, I'm out.
Yeah. Sun's out, I'm out. Gone Sunny. So it just says like you're out of the house, whatever. And there's a little sign that says like Gone Sunny.
Yeah.
It's like, because I went out and I'm in the sunny time.
Burglary's up to 15%.
Because everybody's out of the house. Dude, I've been getting like sucked into like true crime videos a little bit, and it's dangerous for me because then, like those videos on YouTube that are like, I caught a killer in my attic or whatever, and then it's like found footage, or not found footage, like what's it called? Police cam footage, whatever, body cam footage of this guy that's like, the cops investigating something, and the guy's like, I thought it was an animal in my attic, but it was a guy, and he goes, hey, I'm Robert, like those kinds of things. But I've been getting sucked into him because I just listen to him while I'm doing other things, and then, dude, I get so creeped out because it's terrifying. Like, I was here by myself yesterday getting some of the decorations and stuff set up, and I had just been listening to one, and then I would just like hear something in the other room, and I'm like,
dude, this place makes some sounds.
I'm gonna die. Like, yeah, it does.
Like,
but that one I referenced is real. Like, I listened. This guy that's like, you all right?
Yeah, I'm nothing.
I saw one where somebody had.
We don't have an attic, I don't think.
No.
What is going on here?
Okay, sorry. Like, I don't know if we told the listener we're in a new place, but anyway,
we haven't yet.
The door is square, but the ceiling is not.
The ceiling is slanted.
But yet this side is not slanted.
I'm pretty sure they're both
So
slanted.
the doors, it goes like this, and then the next one's the right way, and then the next one's this way. Because there's 3 doorways that are all like
confused.
Yeah, it's wild.
But I was watching one of those videos, and it was literally that. Like, this body cam footage, and this guy's like, it started by this guy or these 2 ladies watching, TV or whatever, and they hear glass break, and they look out the window, and they see that, that somebody is jumping out of the second story of a house on top of another house and then runs off. And so these police are like investigating it all night, and then the next day they get another call because they never find the guy. They get another call. Creepiest part, 3 shots were fired and they never found where those came from. The next day, they get a call from a guy that's like, there's somebody that was in my attic, come pick him up. And this guy and his girlfriend get home from work, they go into the house, and there's all this like attic insulation on the ground. And the girl's like, I think there's an animal up there. Like, I hear her moving around. And he's like, an animal in the attic? Are you kidding me? Like a raccoon? And then they start to go over to the attic, and they just hear, it's not an animal, my name's Robert. And he's like, what? Which is freaky. Like, there's a dude in there. But yeah, he was like a violent criminal. But then he just went, yeah, and literally was like, my name's Robert, I'm not an animal, I broke my leg, help me.
I had seen one where somebody like kept hearing noises at night, like their kids were freaked out. So eventually the parents started hearing it too. They set up ring lights in their house. And this has been like 5 years of like hearing random noises. They set up a ring light, and then some guy crawls out of their attic crawl space and eats their food, climbs back in before they get back home from work. He had just been living up there.
What a nightmare.
Like, that freaked me out. Like, that there could just be somebody living in your house that you have no idea that's there. You just hear little bumps in the night, but at night comes down, gets like a snack, goes back up. You go to work, they just eat your food.
Quick little, ow, must be the walls. Man, this house makes weird noises.
I'm glad we're talking about this now after I'm done dog sitting.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
You ever get creeped out?
Oh, 100%.
100%? 100% of the time?
100% of the time, I will.
Just always on edge.
You'll hear something new, and you're like, "Oh my gosh!"
Has anybody ever come home? Because you've done a lot of that. Has anyone ever come home like while you're house sitting? Well, they come back from their trip and like you don't know they're going to be there yet, and you're just like,
yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah, I was house sitting for a guy or for a family, and their son has a key to the house. I learned this later. And so I'm just living my life, going to work, coming back, going to work, coming back. I walk in and my bag of chips is moved. My clothes are moved. Things have
That's a weird thing for him to do.
Things have slowly been moving around the house, and I'm like, there's 3 toothpicks on the counter. I never used any toothpicks.
Who uses 3 though?
I'm like, this is so weird. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. And like, there's this random things are happening. And I'm like, okay, I'm going crazy, or there's someone in this house.
He was there the entire time.
No, he wasn't there. Thank goodness. But then I walk in, and then the owners text me like, "Hey, just let you know, our son's going to come by and going to pick up some stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
And drop off some toothpicks.
And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear the door unlock, and I'm like, "Okay, it's him." Walks in, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hello," and he walks, grabs stuff, and then grabs some other things that were random. And I'm like, it was you breaking into the house. And then I'm like, okay, cool. He left. 2 days later, they didn't tell me that he was coming back. All of a sudden the door just opens up and someone's walking through the house, and I'm like, what's going on?
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So that guy walks in, he's like, hey, and you're like, oh, okay. You know, it must be the son. He's like, walks in, grabs some stuff, walks out, a couple weird random things. And then like an hour later, you hear the door open, and he's like, hey, just so you know, I'm Lisa and Tim's son. And you're like,
Then who was the other guy? But
who was the toothpick guy? Guy. I've never used a toothpick in my life.
But yeah, there's been times. It's been crazy.
Can you scooch a little closer to me? We're being asked by our producer.
Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm assuming you mean closer. There you go.
Like
that
this?
better?
Give me a thumbs up. I can just see a thumb.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I love how we move locations. This is great. We're in a new space, and we have a guest, and we haven't even asked our guest anything.
I know.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
Just thinking that.
So
I feel a little bit
that.
bad.
But anyway, new place, beautiful, awesome. We have it all set up.
Yeah.
It's a great place.
And we have this really cool, you can't see it, but behind this camera, there's a nice little window where our producer sits. It's kind of like a McDonald's drive-through window. It's really cool.
Yes, or a recording studio.
In a recording studio, whatever. And so what was cool about it is like everyone will be able to see Shibs back there behind the studio, and he could signal to us, he could talk to us and everything like that. And they're all excited because I couldn't last time. He was over there,
like
in my
behind
blind
you.
spot.
Yeah, so he would have to like spin all the way around.
So we're all excited about that. And guess what?
Guess.
The person that can't see him is still me, because there's a giant light in between me and Chris, and I just see his face when he like leans back. He's like, "Aha, you can't see me."
But yeah, Byron mentioned it. We are in a new location now. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
It's very exciting.
We were setting up yesterday. I realized, or it was the day before yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, we were talking about how we can see everything better. Chris can see us. Shibs can see us. We can see Shibs. And then I was like, pretty sure Byron won't be able to because of that light. And
anyway,
it's true.
It's fine.
But yeah, we're in a brand new location. It's really awesome. God has really provided. We needed a place to record the podcast before, and he provided one. And then, this place is just better. Like, we can set up better. There's more room for the cameras to be farther away, so we can hopefully get some better looking angles, hopefully some better lighting. I hope you're noticing that the lighting's a little better. We've got some new lights. If not, we're still figuring out how to use them correctly, I'm sure. But yeah, we've done a lot of randomness that's probably, even for the listeners' sake, going to have to get cut out because some of this might just be all over the place. Yeah. But Kaden, we are really glad you're here. We're sorry if you feel like we've been disrespectful to your time here.
No, it's chill.
It is pretty chill.
It's incredibly.
Not a huge talker, so.
Well, why are you on a podcast?
I don't know. Why not?
This is
15 minutes of fame.
This is an audio format where we do talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This could be seen by tens of people. Like, some of our episodes get 64 views.
Whoa. It's record numbers.
That Logan Paul episode we did, well, he wasn't on the podcast, but the episode we did about Logan Paul, we forgot to even put tags on it, and it still got the most of almost the most of any episode. And then I was like, oh, we should probably put some keyword tags in here for the search. But yeah, it was like in the hundreds of thousands.
Was Logan Paul in the title?
Probably.
Yeah,
I think
I'm betting
so.
I think he was in the thumbnail.
That,
well.
and the title said like Cliff Nechtel on Impulsive or something like that. So like
Yeah, so everybody looking up for that episode
Well,
gets ours reacting to it.
probably not. I mean,
Well, I
it
mean,
would be
that's how
way-
YouTube is like right now.
Yeah.
Like whenever you search up anything, all you get is the reactions to the thing that you're trying to
It's all a
find.
bunch
Really?
of reaction channels.
I mean, I feel like that's the case.
Lately, I've
whenever
been
I'm looking
getting-
for things.
Well, pardon me. Yawn, big yawn. I've been getting a lot of recommended videos that are just like 7 views. Have you
Oh
been
yeah,
getting
yeah,
those?
recommended things. But when you're searching
No, I
for
know.
things, is what.
But lately,
yeah,
I've just
yeah.
been noticing like my recommended every now and then. I'm like, oh, this sounds interesting, and I look, it's like something with 7 views.
Yeah, it's wild.
Whoa, like so, and then I click it, and the channel has like 11 subscribers. I'm like, this is just like some kid that's like wants to be a YouTuber, and I actually saw his vid. Like, I didn't think that actually happened. It was crazy. But yeah, Kaden, we know you fairly well. We've been around you quite a bit, and you've been very involved in Christian influence. But it's something that I like that we're doing. We've talked about this before, but with guests is it's an opportunity for us to get to know the guests a little bit better. But even if we know the guests pretty well, what we want to demonstrate by having guests on, especially people that are our friends, is an opportunity for the viewer to get to know that person better. And also, I think something that we've seen just having people on and asking them some of these questions is that that everybody does have something impactful to share about the way in which God has used other people in their life or has used them. And you know, that's been readily apparent just by the fact that we give some questions for people to pick from, like what do they want to be asked, and everybody picks. There's one question that everybody picks, and so did you. So I think that's kind of cool because it makes sense. It's one of the questions that's like, you know, like the way that God has changed you or impacted your life. And but yeah, starting things off here. What is your earliest memory?
So my earliest memory that I know of, or that I can like remember, is when we used to live in Woodburn when I was like 2, 3, something like that.
Yeah.
And my neighbor across the street, he built monster trucks.
No way.
Yeah.
What? That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And so
That's crazy.
I got to ride in monster trucks.
Dude.
Did you
I
ever
was
get a
expecting
flip
like
while you were in it?
No.
as a baby.
It was just like, I mean, because they're not street legal, so you can't really
Yeah.
drive them on the street. So he'd just drive around the neighborhood.
On the street.
Were you guys
on
like
the
in a
streets.
cul-de-sac and this guy's got like a monster truck garage?
Pretty much. Yeah.
How does he get
Not
them
really
to
a
places if you
cul-de-sac,
can't
though.
like take them down the street?
Just
You know?
trailer him.
But aren't they like wide? Like
Well, what you do is you take the tires off and you
Oh.
put smaller tires on. So like
I
you put like
guess, I
regular
guess.
truck tires on them.
I
Which
just
probably looks hilarious.
Yeah.
I just think this massive truck and then it has like little
Little tiny-
little
Yeah.
little 24s on there, and you're like, whoop, there you go.
Yeah,
Did that instill your love for vehicles?
I think so.
Really?
I think a little bit.
Because you're a car guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am.
Like, my understanding, I mean, you have like, I know nothing about it. Absolutely nothing about it. But like, you have a car that you've like been working on for a while or whatever, right?
I have a 78 Camaro that I've been rebuilding.
So that sounds like something that if you are a car guy, you're probably watching going like, whoa, right?
Maybe.
Okay. You don't have to be shy. What's the level of like clout that comes with what you just said? You know, like if you didn't have that car and somebody was like, I have a 78 Camaro I've been working on, would you like scale of 1 to 10 that you'd be impressed?
Maybe like 6.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right.
that's pretty solid.
Yeah. It's a nice car.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is that the blue one that I've seen?
No.
Okay, I'm just
That's
a
a
moron.
different
I don't know anything about cars. Dude.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. What is the blue car that you drive that like I've seen pictures of and stuff?
Well, that's my uncle's car.
Oh,
Yeah.
you took your uncle's car.
I've used his car a couple times for like just graduation
Okay.
and stuff. I brought it to work that one time. At
Yeah.
Susie Q's.
Oh yeah.
When it
Oh,
was
I didn't
still
even
a
mention
thing.
that. Kaden used to work for us at Susie Q's.
Yeah.
I saw your expert parking job at church the other day.
My expert parking job.
Yeah, you were parked on the sidewalk across the
Parked
street.
on the sidewalk.
You didn't see that?
No, I
should have
didn't see
taken a
that.
picture. I was like standing outside, greeting people with Ashley, and then I look across and I just see like on the sidewalk and on the dirt like area up there, just and it looks so perfectly elevated, like because there was just kind of a spot there that like only one car could be, so it kind of looked like one of those little like display things that you drive up onto. It's like, yep, there it is, just perfectly on display. That was funny. That was
I usually, because I used to work at the school.
Yeah.
For Grant, but when I'd go and clean, I would park right up next to the doors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The
So I
double
just-
doors to the old
yeah,
gym?
to the new gym.
Oh. Really?
So I just pull up onto the sidewalk and just,
Wait, is there like a dip there?
No, there's not.
You just curb check that?
well, so there is a little dip
Okay.
over towards the preschool room.
Oh, so you just
drive up onto that. Turn, and since my car's so small,
Yeah.
I fit like on the sidewalk.
Oh my goodness.
That's
does
great.
the school faculty know about that?
I don't know.
Well, now they do.
Now they
Now they do.
Greg Gallagher watches this, so
Yeah.
he's probably one of the ones that
I
be
mean,
like,
he would be cool with it.
he'd be like, nice, dude. So earliest memory is having a neighbor. I mean, how old were you when you rode in this monster truck?
Probably like 3 or 4.
Wow, that's pretty sweet.
That's so cool.
That's awesome.
I have
Yeah.
some early memories of crazy things, like when I was like my dad used to work at Thrillville, like the old amusement park, and I would go to the amusement park and like I would go on rides way younger than you're supposed to,
Yeah.
But monster trucks like right by your house is probably
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
yeah, that is cool. How many did he have?
I think he only had one,
Okay.
but like he was always just like tearing it apart and doing
Yeah.
something else to it. So
Was it called like Car Destroyer or something? What do they always have?
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Yeah. Is that a famous one?
Yeah.
It is.
So.
I don't know anything about.
That's the green
Green and
one.
black
The
one?
green and black one. Usually
Have you ever gone to a monster truck rally?
no.
I have.
really.
I have. Yeah. One time I was at it was a demolition derby and monster truck rally.
That's cool.
It was at the state fairgrounds and my dad
Actually-
took, huh?
I take that back. I have been to one at the fairgrounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of cool. When you're a kid,
cool.
like that kind of stuff is just cool.
Yeah.
And does it look like the bottom of that TV is destroyed?
No.
Okay. It totally does to me, but
Are you because you're seeing the?
I mean,
the
you're
screen's not all the
seeing.
way down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing is just not all the way down.
Yeah, that's
But
just like
it's trees.
trees.
I 100% thought. Yeah, forget it. We'll cut that out.
That's cut.
It looked like BB shots that are like. Yeah, forget it.
Okay, I can see that.
Sorry about that. Monster Truck Rally. It was super cool, but it was a demolition derby mainly. And when you're a kid, like even if you're not really like super into cars or whatever, like I had a bunch of Hot Wheels as a kid, but like demolition derbies, pretty cool because you're just like it's a bunch of guys driving around crashing into each other, like
Yeah.
pretty fun. And then a monster truck came out there with guys in some of the cars and it was like, yeah, and there was a couple of them. I thought it was cool,
That's cool.
but I don't know if any of them were famous monster trucks.
Sorry, I got distracted. My gaff came off.
I was waiting for it. It's too. We gaff taped bundles of cords to the top of the table.
Well,
was
I
like,
just did a poor job on
Mine's
this
doing
one.
great.
This one in particular.
I just did a poor job
Mine's
on
doing
yours
great.
Yeah.
because that was the first one.
Yeah.
Monster trucks.
Yeah, sorry.
It's cool.
Yeah.
That's
very
a cool.
cool though.
That's a cool memory to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Are you a
cool
gamer?
memory.
I am a gamer.
You are a
We
gamer?
play video
I
games
am a gamer.
Yeah.
Do you play monster truck games?
No.
Are there monster
Are
truck
there
games?
monster
I
truck?
bet that
Yes,
there
there
is.
is.
I mean, we've got
Bet-
ATV games and like BMX games.
We have
And
power washing games, so there better be a monster
I'm
truck
pretty
game.
sure we had one for the PS1 for like I borrowed it
Really?
from a
Okay,
friend
you
or
may have borrowed
something.
one, yeah.
I didn't own it completely. It was definitely a borrow. But borrow.
Well, we don't have it anymore, so it was a borrow game. There are a couple games that we borrowed that just we still have.
We kind of still have because we never saw them again.
We never saw those people again.
They just like dropped off the face of the earth, and we're like,
I rented a game from Blockbuster when I was a kid that 10 years later I still had in a Blockbuster case.
Well, Blockbuster ended, so you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you want to go to Eugene.
Huh?
You go to Eugene.
Oh,
no,
Bend.
Bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last is in Bend.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Bend.
Yeah,
Bend.
you've just been
There's nothing good in
racking
Eugene,
up
so.
That's true. You can't go in there because you've got like a racked up record.
I delivered Suzy Q's there quite a few times.
Oh, okay.
And every time I walked in, they were like,
It's
like when you go into a
$3.
library. Yeah. No, it was such a great game. Godzilla versus, or it was like a Godzilla fighting game, and it had all the Godzilla monsters, and it was super fun. Jude and I played a lot of that. But okay, you're a gamer.
Yeah. What's your favorite video game?
Favorite video game?
Or just a favorite, I guess.
Yeah.
Or a
I'd have to say probably Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I play a lot of Rocket League.
Still?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Competitive?
Yeah.
What's your rank?
What's your MMO?
I don't know what my MMR is, but I'm like, I think I'm champ.
That's a
which
pretty
is
high
kind
one,
of-
right?
It's like in the middle.
Oh,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
Dude beat me, so I don't know.
Did you ever know Trevor that worked at Suzy Q's after you?
No.
Okay. He played a lot of Rocket League, and he was like, whatever. It was the one right before the final rank. He was like just like the max rank. I don't know
Yeah.
what that's called,
I don't.
but
I know the max rank is Supersonic Legend.
yeah,
Sonic Legend.
Wow.
So
What-
he was just a Sonic legend.
yeah, he was not a supersonic. He was a Sonic. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he was just like always in and out of the rank right before
Ah.
it. But like a lot, he played a lot of Rocket League. What do you like about Rocket League?
It's just a game that I can sit back in my chair and play because I use controller. So I mean, you kind of have to use a controller unless
Yeah.
you're good at keyboard and mouse, which is
For that game specifically, like you mean, or just in general? Oh, okay.
like for that game specifically, it's easier to use a controller.
yeah.
But
Do you exclusively controller play like all games?
no,
Oh, okay.
just Rocket League.
Just Rocket League.
Rocket League and Farming Simulator.
So you do work on big vehicles,
What?
like monster trucks.
Well, I
farming
feel like simulator. I guess tractors and stuff.
Tractors.
Farming Simulator.
Or wait, are we talking like farming simulator where like you're out there with like
First person.
first person? I gotta get this 5 acres done. Here
Byron,
we go,
I think
boys.
you just made the new viral dance here.
the scythe.
Put that in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Put that in Fortnite. The Byron.
The Byron.
What is it that you find fun about Farming Simulator? Educate me.
Just driving.
You could do that in
I've
a lot.
always loved
games.
like driving simulator games, like Forza.
Mm-hmm.
I've
yeah.
played a lot of Forza. I have all the games. Yeah, I just love driving.
Would you get the whole sim kit where you do the wheel and the pedals?
I do have.
You have that.
You've got a
have
wheel?
the
Okay.
wheel and the pedals.
So now
Whoa.
Now we're going to the next level. Are you going to get a seat and a cockpit and
Probably
build a
not.
full racing kit and then have the dual screen
Like Gran Turismo?
Maybe
Gran Turismo?
eventually.
and then a full
but
shifter and all that,
not
like everything?
yet.
Okay. We're not there yet.
And
Not
then
there yet.
just go hop in a Formula One car and then just drive. No?
Yeah.
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 I watched that Gran Turismo movie. It was actually pretty good.
Dude.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
It was great.
It was kind of slow at the beginning, but like I was enjoying it enough. But I think halfway
And then the
through, I
car
was like-
sped up.
And then the car sped up. Yeah, he was driving really slow for the whole first half. It's all in a car, the whole movie. Isn't there a movie with Tom Hardy where the whole thing is just him in a car, I think? Yeah.
Probably.
Some weird movie. Jude would know.
Jude would know.
He knows. That Gran Turismo movie was good. Perry and I reference it all the time because the line where he's like, "You just have to commit," when he's like going into the inside or whatever. But that's a good movie. Or going to the outside, whatever. It made me realize, like, man, I don't really like racing games that much, but I do feel like those simulator things would be fun, like the full wraparound simulators. What are you doing over here?
I'm looking up something because I'm going to
Cool.
ask him
Where
about
your
this game,
car
so sorry.
goes a little bit like where your seat, goes a little bit like when you're doing turns and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Are you searching up the thing that I sent you?
No, not that video. No, that'd be cool, but
Sorry.
So, what is it about the driving in Farming Simulator that makes you play that rather than play a game that's literally like a driving simulator, like for driving? You know what I mean?
Well, like in Forza, I mean I play that because it's like realistic, whatnot.
Yeah.
But like Farming Simulator, it's a little more like chill, and you can kind of just like
Do whatever.
do
Slow
whatever,
down.
and like, okay, I'm gonna sound like a tryhard, but I have
Do it.
modded Farming Simulator. So like you
Whoa.
can get
You're the guy.
you're that guy.
you can get a bunch of different like mods to add a bunch of like random cars and stuff, and like different tractors and stuff. But of course, I only add the cars and boats and whatnot. But yeah,
Boats.
yeah, there are boats.
Some boats in the field.
Boat. How do you put a boat?
There's just like
You just drive on pop.
You just
they
put it
don't
in?
actually work.
Oh,
They're just like there for
Aesthetics.
aesthetics.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So,
But you don't have a Bugatti pulling
I'm
your
seeing-
tractor kit.
No.
you should.
I've seen you pull in with a tractor and you have a trailer. Or no, you're just pulling in with a tractor and you're like mowing this field. And all of a sudden in this little pond, there's a yacht. Full on like 60, 70 person yacht sitting there in the middle of this pond.
In a
the middle-
pond?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere land.
It's just got the motor
I love
in
pond.
the pond. The rest of it's just
It's on land.
Kicking up a bunch of
The
dirt.
boats are kind of broken though, because like how you mod them is you had to like mod them on like a car
onto it like a
chassis
chassis.
kind of.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
all the car like aspects are there,
Okay.
but they're not like you can't see them.
Yeah.
So like you could just be driving on land with
And
a
just
boat,
clipping through
'cause
the
it's-
ground.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
Because
funny.
it's just like because the car is still technically there.
Yeah.
But you can't see it.
Yeah.
So it's
So if you
pretty
hop in it, you're
hilarious.
just in this big boat.
yeah.
That's funny. Driving it around on land.
It's great.
So driving simulators. Have you ever played Desert Bus?
No.
Do you know what Desert Bus is?
No.
It is a single person driving simulator where you drive from, I believe it's Vegas to, what's the other town?
Hawaii.
No. It's near Vegas. It's
Through the desert.
Through the desert. And you literally just drive from here to there. And once you get there, you turn around and you drive back. And then when you get there, you drive back to the other place.
Do shenanigans take place or something that make it more fun?
No, that's it.
There's just
that's the game.
nothing.
It's a
just-
Penn and Teller made it.
What?
Yeah.
Why did they make it?
Because
The trick
it was
is-
it was a prank.
But I don't get the trick.
We made a dumb game.
Can you-
Gotcha.
Shibs, can you pull up
Yeah, I'd love
Desert
to
Bus,
see.
please?
Let's react to a video of Desert Bus.
Desert Bus.
Desert Bus
Desert Bus, yeah.
game. Driving simulator.
No, but do you play have you ever played the Trucker Simulator?
No, I have not.
No?
I want to. I just have never had the time to.
Yeah.
See, that seems like a game I could enjoy. Those, like, if you have the steering wheel and stuff, there's that ice trucker simulator one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Penn
pull
and
up
Teller.
just pull up that 8-hour video of it. Yeah.
Oh, it's a really old game.
Trust me.
Oh, it looks like a really
So
old game.
just do gameplay. Right there. Second one. That works. Yeah, just pull
8 hours.
Just pull that up and
Oh,
let
it's
that
a
play.
Sega CD.
Oh yeah, it's old school.
Yeah.
Wild.
But I was curious because like this is the most iconic driving simulator I
Is
know
it?
of. Yes, this is like
Is it iconic?
this is it.
I mean, if the Penn and Teller made it, wow, I thought we had better internet connection than this. Oh, there we go.
Oh, we have.
Oh, we're hearing it.
Oh, we're hearing it.
Wow.
We can turn off the sound. You don't need sound.
Oh, but I'm liking it. Why would you? Okay.
And then just hit play, and then we'll just have it running.
Just running in the rest of the
Yeah.
episode?
So-
The entire
so-
rest of the episode.
So the best part about this is like people will do like not giveaways, but they'll do like conferences and talks and stuff like that, and they'll have desert buses playing. And so as long as they can keep the bus on the road, they'll keep the show going. And so you have to sit there with a remote. It only turns to the left.
What? You can't turn right.
So you constantly are pushing to the right. Like the bus automatically wants to lean
Oh,
left, and so you
the
just
bus
constantly push right.
constantly goes left, so you have to.
You have to push right. If you push too much right, you'll fall off the road. And if you don't push enough, you'll fall off the road. Random bugs will come. Just skip ahead because we don't need to see the intro. This is right there.
Oh,
Perfect.
there
That's
was
it. Great.
something with Penn and Teller.
There we
Yeah.
go. This is it. This is Desert Bus.
Oh yeah, it's all it's
you
leaning to
can't
the right.
It goes
turn
right,
your
you turn
car.
left. Yeah.
You're just constantly.
Oh yeah, it's just straight shot, and we have seen all the scenery that we probably will ever see, and the odometer just ticks up until we get to our destination.
And then
You have to go 45.
And then once you get, you're stuck at that speed. You don't have accelerator. You're just keeping the bus on the road
what?
until the end.
What
until
happens if you don't? Does it just go
you
off?
crash?
And you restart.
You restart and you go back to the
Do
town.
you ever reach the destination?
You do reach the destination after so many miles. It's actually literal miles of distance that you have to travel
yeah,
to do that. So
makes sense.
I can't remember the exact time it takes to get from one location to the other, but it takes a long time.
It's Penn and Teller, so probably like 420 or something.
No, maybe
85
no
years.
Whatever the
85
the
years.
literal time is to travel from this town to this town in the world at that speed is how long it takes. And then once you get there, you can then say, "I want to have a return trip," and you drive back.
Wait, he's on empty.
He's always on empty.
You're just always on empty the entire
yeah.
ride.
Okay, I bet there has to be some story behind this, like Penn and Teller, have to make this horrible drive all the time, like to do their magic shows, and they're like, we're gonna make a game that so
Yeah.
you can experience this horrible thing with us.
Their car will overheat if it goes above 45, so they have to keep it at 45 to go to all their shows, and they had to stay in this city because they weren't allowed to like stay in Las Vegas, and they had to just drive to their shows and back and forth.
Could be. I don't know the story behind it, but
They just want to put everybody else through that same thing.
there's something. So there you go.
So you got a new game to go play now.
You have to.
Is it?
Yeah.
Also, there's no saves.
Really?
Why would there?
Why
need to be?
would there be?
So if you're halfway through the drive and you turn off the system, you have to start at the beginning
I mean,
to get to
Can
the
I
end
get
goal.
it on PC?
I believe there is.
there's got to be an emulator.
There
There
has to be a
an
port.
emulator.
Like,
Because people are currently there are people that currently play it and live stream it.
Is the like, what is it? The community like
I don't know.
large?
No, I'd like to see the modding community for that game.
Niche, very small.
oh, the modding
some mods
community
in
is
that game.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, wild mods.
Yeah, they make it a Tesla. And it keeps thinking that there's random pedestrians in the road, but there's just not.
You're like, that's why you're turning to the left.
That's why it's constantly going to the right, because
Yeah.
it keeps thinking that there's something.
There's a
Or just
line,
randomly stops.
a diagonal line. Is that a real issue with those? Like stopping and stuff? No.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't drive a Tesla.
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither. But it does freak me out whenever I hear them drive by and they're like,
Okay. Knowing that you're a car guy, have you been in Kaiser and seen the Cybertruck that's in
Yeah.
Kaiser?
I've seen a couple of them. They've been
I've only seen
driving
one.
around.
I'm like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
dude, when I was a kid, I lived in Kaiser. There was a guy, speaking of something you mentioned earlier, it's a real life version. He had taken a boat and turned it into a car, like a
Yeah.
speedboat. Have you seen that?
I have.
The guy?
I don't know if it's the guy.
No, you saw the
but
guy.
I've seen other people do it.
He would just drive through Kaiser, and it was like a little old like an old looking one, and he just like driving around town. It was like full. I think it was fully street legal. Like it had plates and everything, and he'd drive around. And I would always see it like on our way to church because I think he lived right around there. But yeah, it's crazy. Like,
Seen
have you ever seen
videos.
that?
I haven't
It's pretty
seen
cool.
I haven't seen that.
I've seen a video where these guys transformed a semi truck into a boat.
What?
Yeah.
How do you do the other way around?
I don't know. Like, I guess they just took a boat and just put a semi truck on
Oh,
top
that
of
makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
But like, it was fully like
Yeah, this isn't gonna come up.
Oh.
That's
fully
crazy.
usable and everything.
Like on both land and water.
I don't know. I think so.
The Optimus Prime.
Like the duck boat, like the duck tours, where it's in San Francisco, where you could jump on the car and they'll tour you around, and then they'll jump into the bay. You ride
Yeah.
around the bay.
I think so.
Man, I'm yawning a lot. What is
I
wrong
know,
with
I
me?
know I saw some guys that were like putting on massive wheels onto their truck so that they could go from land to water, but they basically just like made the wheels so buoyant that they would be able to go.
Float.
But the problem was once they got onto the water, they couldn't control it.
Yeah, where are you gonna go?
So then they were just sitting there and not like moving
Man, we
at
didn't
all.
think this through.
Yeah, dude, it was wild. And then when they eventually did get it like actually working, and then they had to get boat tags for their truck as well as their license plate, you know? It's because they
For
put
a useless boat?
Because they put it. Well, no. Once they got it, to
they
like
got it working.
semi-working. They put it into a river, and then like all these people started coming and like watching it because it's a truck driving down the water, and then the cops showed up and they were just like, no,
Oh,
they just popped the wheels.
Pop all four and just
Just sink.
was it just the wheels that was keeping it afloat? Basically,
Basically, yeah,
that's incredible.
yeah.
Incredible German engineering.
it's like,
It sounds like weren't there like in World War II there were some like land water vehicles? What are those called? Kaden would know.
Probably.
Yeah, U-boats.
U-boats were definitely below water,
Underwater,
but not on land.
They have some like amphibious vehicles that
They had
can
amphibious.
go
yeah.
on water
I don't
and
think-
on land.
I don't think World War II had those yet, though.
Probably not.
Because I know they had the
I know they
War.
have them now.
Civil
but I don't-
Civil War was what you're
I don't know
thinking
if they
of.
haven't had them
Yeah,
back then.
because
Like
they
D-
had vehicles during Civil War.
D-Day, we had the boats that hit the beaches that would ride up far enough to drop
Yeah,
and then
onto the sand.
Onto the sand, and then the tanks would come out.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. I think.
But they didn't drive on the sand. They just like rammed hard enough that they just got
Yeah.
beached.
I'm not a war history guy at all.
Me neither.
But there's a guy in the Discord who is, and I will never forget that on this podcast one time I was referencing, I was like, yeah, there's this guy I've heard the story of, you know, talking about a guy from Canada that fought in the war and he was just like this absolute brutal hero. Like he's like known as the real Rambo. And I referenced it and I got called out by Kane in the Discord like, Jerry, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Like I can't figure out at all what you're talking about. And I was like, well, that makes sense. Like I even said in the episode, I think like I don't know anything about, I'm like, really bad with history. But then I was like, but I was pretty confident I'd heard this story, but I guess I'm probably wrong. Like if the history guy is telling me I'm not. And then Capel, the other history guy's like, he said something like, oh, Mage, you lovable idiot, or something like that. Just like something very demoralizing. I remember just being like, okay, now I feel like Kanan said, like, Jerry, I don't think you know what you're talking about. And then Capel swooped in and was like, oh, Mage, you dummy, you know, or whatever. And I was like, now I feel bad about myself. So I'm going to go look it up. And I was right. It was a legit
Nice.
thing. A guy from Canada fought in World War II. Pretty sure it was World War II. Now I'm going to be wrong. But he's like the one guy from Canada that did. And I mean, there was a few, I think, but like one of the only ones. And his story, like he's known as being like the real Rambo because there was like a bunch of people that were captured. And he, on his own, went around the camp and was like firing his weapon and stuff at various places to make them feel like they were surrounded by like a bunch of soldiers, and then he rescued all of them. Like such a cool hero. And I guess even history nerds don't know about him, so poor guy. Probably because he's Canadian.
Probably because he was Canadian. Nobody cares about Canadian war history.
But he went back and was just like super chill about it. Was like, yep, I'm a war hero. Thank you for your recognition. Was that the next pile of cords that just
That was
fell?
the cables that just fell on
Probably.
mine. That was mine.
We'll find a better way of doing it. You know what we could do? Just screw some hooks.
Yeah, that's what.
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. It would be better.
But yeah, so I'm not a war history guy at all. Barely a history guy. I didn't know who Malcolm X was until I was like 22.
I mean, I didn't either.
Yeah.
So
I got a lot of flack for that at my old job. Literally, someone referenced Malcolm X, and I was like, "Is that like a Danny Phantom character or something?" And they're like,
do you mean Professor X?
My brain went to Professor X. I have no clue who you're talking about.
"What? Okay, so I'm not
you
crazy.
still don't know? Okay.
Okay, good. So I don't feel as bad.
Because I didn't know about him until you came home from work,
Yeah.
and then we're talking to Jarrett about it.
Because Jarrett was one of the people that was like, "How do you not know?" And it's public school kids know who he is. I think.
Yeah, and then-
homeschool / private school kids are like, we learned about.
Yeah, and then I remember
stuff.
coming, like, I think I came downstairs, and then you guys were like, hey, Levi, do you know who Malcolm X is?
That's
and I'm
right.
like, I have no idea what
And I
you're
was
talking about. And Jarrett's just like, yeah. And then Jarrett's just like, oh, he wouldn't know. And I'm just like,
Levi doesn't know anything about Black history anyway.
and I'm just like, oh, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. And it was at a secular workplace, so I definitely got a lot of
flack for that.
And then like, you're the Christian. Makes sense. And I was like, no, I don't know. But yeah, I was homeschooled. And from what I've heard, like that kind of history is usually talked about, like that portion of American history, usually around 8th grade, 7th grade.
Yeah.
And that's when I was not only homeschooled, but like didn't really do a lot of school either. And so I basically just did math and English, like workbooks, and then went to high school. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, steering us back on topic.
Yeah,
Just
sorry.
a little bit.
I've been all over the
because we have a
place.
guest here, and like we're all over the place.
Yeah,
I'm an absolute amateur. It's been too long. We've been gone for so long.
Yeah.
We've been gone for really long. Kaden, who are some people in your life that you credit spreading the word or talking about God? Right.
And you can't use Malcolm X because
can't
we've
use
already
Malcolm X.
talked
That's
about
not allowed.
Yeah, Malcolm X shared the gospel with Levi. Oh my gosh.
I just knew him as Malcolm. What can I say?
I've always known him as Mr. X, but sorry. People that God has used in your life.
God is using your life.
I think there's been a lot of people that God has used in my life, but I think a couple of the people I'd have to say is Josh Pemble. He's been a great influence in my life, and yeah.
Those listening, who is Josh Pemble?
Josh Pemble, he is one of my friends, I guess one of our friends, I don't know. He went to the same school as us. He currently goes to the same school that I do too as well. He's going to OSU with us, with me and Tim, who's also on the podcast.
Tim Time.
Yeah.
Tim Time.
He's just been a lifelong friend. Met him in kindergarten.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And so we've been in the same class ever since, and still are going to be in the same classes.
That's cool.
Did you start? You started at Willamette Valley in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is he doing mechanical engineering too?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's cool. I didn't know that.
So yeah, we have a couple classes together. So,
And you guys don't sit together. You like sit on opposite sides.
I don't know. We haven't got there yet.
Okay.
Oh, okay. How has God used him specifically? Like, you said there's lots of people that God has used in your life, but specifically mentioning him, right? Then I imagine there's something significant there. How has he been specifically used?
He's just been a great, like, spiritual leader, and like, he always catches me on like stuff that I don't catch myself doing. You know, like if I say something, he'll be like, "Well, that's not very nice," or something. And I'll
Oh,
be
that's
like,
good.
You're right. You're right.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just he's been a big influence.
That's good. I mean, that's what we're all about, right? Like recognizing, I think, the people that God has used to influence us in the right way, in the right direction. Like that's essentially that's the crux of edification, right? Is like to build people up and push them closer to God when they're getting it wrong, right? And like to walk alongside them and be like, "Hey, dude, you know that this is wrong. Like this is the wrong way to go," and then push them the right direction, kind of like bowling lane bumpers. And then when they're going the right way, like encourage them to do the right thing too, you know? And that's good to hear that he's skilled in that.
And I think also Matt.
Yeah.
Matt's a huge help.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had Matt as a teacher, right?
Yeah. I had Matt as a teacher, and now he's my pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, so for those, I'm sure many people listening know who Matt is, but Matt is the pastor at Creekside Bible Church. But for many of us, at least many of the viewers especially would know him from the Discord and from Christian Influence. So he
was
started
on the
it.
Symposium episode.
And he's been on the
season
podcast.
3.
Yeah. The one where we were all dressed like
Togas.
Greek philosophers
with our
dressed
little
like
wreaths.
togas.
Dressed like togas.
Dressed like togas.
What are you dressed as? I'm dressed as the toga.
I am the toga.
Just a big white body paint. Like, I thought you were a character from Dune, but okay. Yeah, those togas are sitting right over there, just waiting for us to have to wear them
in a
again.
box.
If we ever choose to.
Next episode.
Next episode. But no, that's great. What ways has God used specifically Matt then? You mentioned Matt. I figured Matt was going to be one of the people you mentioned. And we haven't had anybody really talk about Matt, but we haven't had a lot of guests yet that are from that sphere of people with this line of questioning. But like, I think many of us could say Matt has been a huge influence. Mm-hmm. I think, especially like Levi and I, of the three of us at least, right? I mean, Byron, you do go to a different church, but like, Matt as well. But even the people that, like, we weren't in any of Matt's classes, and Matt is a huge influence. I think he's somebody that I think has inspired a lot of people that God has used to inspire a lot of people to, I think, see what loving God looks like, mm-hmm. or at least a good example of it, right? And then to want to do that themselves. And I mean, even I think Shibley out there could speak to this. Like, Matt is certainly someone that's made a huge impact on him. I think I like to make sure to emphasize that God has used to make a huge impact on a lot of people. So, but yeah, for you specifically, like how has Matt been an influence in the right direction?
Well, first of all, there was like, I didn't really start going to church mm-hmm. like until about like the beginning of last summer. So like, I mean, I went to a Catholic church before. Okay. And even then it was like off and on, and it wasn't like, I mean, I wasn't really involved in that. I'd always just be like falling asleep and stuff because, I mean, my dad would make us go at mm-hmm. 7:30 in the morning. So,
whoa! Yeah, I didn't know they had mass that early.
Yeah, it's like a 45-minute mass, and they have. So I went to St. Mary's in mm-hmm. Unangel, okay. And they have a 7:30 mass, mm-hmm. and they have a 10 o'clock mass, and the 7:30 mass goes till like 8:15, and then the 10 o'clock mass goes to like 12. And so my dad just wanted to like get in, get out, type.
Didn't want to go for the 2 hour long mass.
And then I was like, that was kind of my thing too. Is like, I didn't want to like be there for very long. And then when I came to Creekside, and then now it's like, I'm there for like 5-6 hours. And the only difference is I actually enjoy it at Creekside, whereas the other place I was just like, didn't want to be there. Yeah. But I think Matt definitely helped a lot with that in bringing me to Creekside and mm-hmm. Making me learn stuff.
He's good at that.
Yeah.
He's good at being like,
hey, you want to help out with this?
Hey, try this. And you're like, it makes me nervous. And he's like, you should try it. You should do it.
Yeah.
And I know you're probably right. He's good at that. I think he's good. Yeah. Challenging people, mm-hmm. Like,
get out of your comfort zone a little.
Yeah. Yeah. He is very good at that. And I think he just can.
And I feel like he also understands, like, this is just a comfort issue. It's not the ability to do so issue. Mm-hmm. It's just a comfort thing.
Which is it's a skill in discernment for sure, right? Mm-hmm. Like, even if you don't even if he doesn't know somebody super, super well, often he's pretty spot on with being like, no, I think this is not a skill issue. This is a comfort issue, right? Like, you can certainly do this. And I've talked to him a lot about, like, he really does have a heart for wanting, like, he just said this to me the other day, like, there is, as someone in ministries, like, there is an opportunity not only to minister to the people who are not believers, or just to do the work of ministering to believers. He's like, there's also a ministry in giving those believers opportunity to do ministry. That in and of itself is ministry. Like if you are the person in a position of leadership, like going like, hey, this congregation, like, sure, I pour time and work into ministering to them and in preparing sermons and being their pastor, those sorts of things. He's like, but then also finding opportunities for them to be like, here's how I want, or here are my gifts that God has given me, and I want to give them back to God. And he's very passionate about that. Like, he's been preaching a lot about that lately. Finding ways to do it, even if they're things that normally you would do, or like you feel like you might do better, but like, no, these people have gifts, and giving them opportunities to use them. Because it makes sense, like, as a pastor, in a lot of ways, like, you are helping shepherd a congregation, right? So it's like giving them avenues for service. I mean, ultimately they should be finding other avenues that you don't have to give to them, right? Because they should be going to God and seeing the opportunities to serve in everything, but like, you know, within your own church. And I think he's really good at that. So you can see his heart in that way, kind of like, because he also will go to you and be like, you should do this. You should serve in this way.
Yeah.
But it can be scary. He's definitely done that for me.
Yeah.
But so is that what got you started, like volunteering in the media stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going for a while, and then he's like, hey, you want to like help Jude with this stuff? Because Jude's like not always here sometimes and whatnot. And I'm like, sure. And so after I started learning how to do stuff, then my cords just fell. After
who's are left? Are there any left?
Yours.
Ah, yes.
But yeah, no. After I kind of got the hang of everything, and then Jude kind of started to step away, I was like, you know, this is actually not that bad. Like, I'm actually able to stay focused and get stuff done and learn new ways to do things, you know. And it's definitely helped me look forward to going to church.
The service element, like serving,
like
that's good.
Being able to help out and being able to like be there with everybody, and great group of people.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
I've a lot.
Yeah, I've experienced similarly. Like serving in church really helps to give you more buy-in, kind of like if you're someone that, you know, I felt this way, and I think a lot of people say this, like, I don't really feel like I go to church because I know I should, but then I'm there and I feel like, why am I here? You know, or like, I don't know if I'm really getting anything out of it, or it's like, and ultimately you should be, of course. And that could be because maybe you're going to church that like, they're not really teaching out of the word effectively. I don't know. But like, even if they are, sometimes people are like, I just don't feel like it matters that I'm here. And my best recommendation, I think, is, at least this worked for me, like, jump into serving however you can. Like, maybe that is a clear indicator that you're just not involved enough. Because, you know, a lot of people too are like, man, I feel like I don't really have any real connections here. It's like, dude, when you spend time in the trenches with somebody, like setting up and tearing down every week, like, you make friends, and they're meaningful friendships. And it just, and I don't know if buy-in is maybe like not a great word for it, but it maybe some agency. Like, it gives you some ownership over that gathering, right? And like, I know for me, it was years ago now, or a couple of years ago, but I was like, yeah, I really like this place. It's good. But yeah, I also don't feel, I don't feel like I have some real meaningful connections yet with anybody, except for the people I live with that I was going there with. And then they asked one week, you know, like, hey, could you start doing, you know, Sunday setup? Because we were a mobile church. And so we have to set up some stuff every week. And I was super nervous. I was like, I don't know how to do any of that, but sure. And through that, like, yeah, it really, really brought me more meaningful relationships with other people there. And I think was one of the things that kept me at that church specifically. And then I did a bunch of audio editing for the sermons and stuff. And that was fun when Matt was preaching, because then it was like,
and then when you would tell him, oh, you're kind of doing this thing where it goes, and then he would just go,
yeah, Matt's an all over the place as far as volume range.
Yeah.
But
don't call him out on it, or else he will get worse.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's tough. But now I know this cool trick for audio editing that'll probably help limit it way better, because I didn't know what I was doing. So I would go through like the 2 seconds that were quiet of him talking and raise that up, and then I'd have to go to like 10 seconds of something really loud and raise that down, and then 2 seconds of quiet and raise it up, and then 10 seconds of loud and raise it down, and just do that throughout an hour-long sermon. And it took so long.
Yeah.
And now I know the actual setting that does that kind of thing on its own. So it only took me a few years.
Yeah.
But but yeah, do you find that to be similar? Like it sounds like you're saying similar to what I was saying I experienced. Like service is really like the service element of, or serving at church really connects you more, or
I think so.
That's good.
it brings me closer to the people actually there.
Yeah.
Because like during service, or not like really service, but like before service, when Canary dismisses the kids and whatnot, and has us go get like drinks or food or whatnot, that gives me a time to like step away for a little bit and like, what is it?
Fellowship?
Yeah, talk to other people and like, you know, go say hi to people, whatnot, have small conversations, and you know, catch up with others, and I really like that.
Yeah,
that is one thing about the previous setup. You really like that little bit of time that you get, like in between, and then once that time's up, it's like, oh,
yeah. Because we always, our mid-conversation when Canary starts talking again, then we're like, oh shoot, we got to get back to...
We got to turn off the
to
lights and get
stations.
everything like back set up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you guys are in the bullpen together all the time.
Yeah.
That's funny. We got to get somebody... Wait, well, no, you do have a replacement if need be. Now, too.
And I'm training someone right now. So the plan is to get my birthday to be able to go into church and just be at church.
Be at church?
Yeah, and not have to worry about...
That would
like
be
running
nice.
everything.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
What a birthday gift. Is your birthday on Sunday this year?
Yeah, it is.
Well, cool.
Yeah. Not this Sunday, but next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So this is my last, like we talked it out. I'm going to be back there, like able to be in help. And then next week I'm...
Nice. She's been doing a good job.
Yeah.
How's it feel? You're finally done with 28.
What?
Well, this birthday, like, this is the last couple weeks of 28 for you.
I thought you were being serious, and I was trying to rack my head. What is 28? Is it something that I was doing back there on the computers, and now it's gonna be over with or something? Like,
no, I was making a
no,
joke about your age.
Yeah.
But no, you're just finishing up 25.
Yeah, going from 25 straight into 30.
25 going on 30?
Yeah, 25 going on 30.
You're just like, man, my back really hurts all of a sudden. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, man.
Are there other people that like you would credit God having, like specifically with the gospel? Like it sounds like Josh Pemble is somebody that God has used to, I think, edify and build you up, it sounds like, or like encourage you to continue. Certainly Matt as well. But how old were you when you accepted the gospel? You're like, this is something that I care about. Was it when you started going to church consistently? You're like, this, I care about this now, or?
I think it was like maybe when I was like 16-ish.
Cool.
I was like, I really wanted to like start living more for God and whatnot. And, but I think after a while, I kind of just like fell off from it a little, and then I really came back to it like last summer.
Yeah. What led you to being like, man, I need to, like, I've fallen off and I need to come back? What was that moment like?
I don't know. It was kind of a tricky part in my life, because I was like kind of starting to go downhill, you know, like starting to like be depressed and stuff. But I was like not wanting to let that take over, and so I was just
That's
like,
good.
I just wanted to fix that before it got bad, you know.
Yeah. It's a good place to be, to recognize that the cure for like our downward spiral is not only chasing after God in whatever direction you can, you know, like going, you know, committing to a church and things like that, but like also the service element. Like, I think I didn't mention this earlier, but I think that was one of the big things that, you know, I was going to a church, but I was like, man, I still feel like it's not fixing me in the way that I want it to fix me. And then it was just those opportunities to serve that, like, you know, so much of being a believer is doing your best to live like Christ. And his whole life is characterized by the fact that he is being obedient in serving the Father, right? And doing the Father's will and doing it for people other than himself, right? He's serving God and serving other people. And so like when you're committed to a church and I just think that people discount the fact that even things like depression, when you can be like kind of spiraling down into depression, because I've experienced that as well. Serving other people really does. It should be, I shouldn't say weirdly, but it really can be a cure in a lot of ways. I think just because we're human, we don't see the way in which God uses that to heal our hearts a little bit, but he really does. Because you just learn, I don't know, I think this is just my speculation, sort of. And I have to be careful how much I talk about this when it comes to depression. But like the crux of so much sin, and I think so much danger in our life, is that is pride or selfish ambition, and that can even, I think, be present in things like depression, because you can be focusing, like your body, your mind, and everything, and your life can be so focused on yourself. Like focusing on yourself isn't just exclusive to the idea that you're focusing in a selfish way on the things that you want, right? In like a malicious way. Mm-hmm. I mean, like it can also just be that so much of what you're experiencing can be because of how much your life is centered on the things you don't like about yourself, even, or that like you're not you're not focused on God, is what I mean. Like focused on God and other people. And I'm not going to say, that is all depression, but I do mean that I think that a lot of the sadness and despair that there is in the world today is a result of a spiritual issue, is a spiritual sickness, and just throwing yourself into service, like, and for the right reasons. I really do think that God uses that and can use that to really heal your heart. Mm-hmm. But at least I think I experienced that. And I'm glad, like, do you think that, I mean, it sounds like you're saying that has certainly helped you.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm definitely in a better place than I was back then.
I mean, Susie Q's was in the middle of shutting down, so I don't blame you for being depressed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty, that was hard for all of us.
I didn't even know it was shutting down. I know. I didn't know till 2 months ago or something like that.
Yeah, it was way later.
Wait, you didn't even know until 2 months ago?
Yeah, I didn't know until
Tim mentioned it, I think, right?
Tim, I think you mentioned it, and me and Tim were both there, and me and Tim were both like, wait, Susie Q shut down?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really make a huge announcement about it necessarily. It was kind of difficult for my dad, of course.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that went into that, but yeah, it was done, and I was already kind of on my way out, like getting more involved in ministry stuff, and God used that for me certainly to be like, I was kind of dancing between both, like, okay, I'm going to go into ministry, but I have this thing to fall back on, and I also felt guilty because I had made a commitment to my dad at one point, and it's like, but I feel like this is what God wants me to do, and God was like, well, you
now only have one option.
I was like, well, I better do what it's clear that God is making a way for. And yeah, things are better for my dad's business now, what he's doing, not trying to do both, but yeah, that was difficult. Yeah. So I guess we didn't make an announcement like, hey, every former employee, and sorry, you can't come back even if you want to. But
yeah, Tim was telling me how this would be the perfect summer for him to be working at Susie Q's.
Really?
It's like, it's not, because he's not looking for a full-time job, but he's just trying to get a little bit of money. So he's like,
poor guy.
He's like, this would be a perfect summer to work for Susie Q's.
Poor guy. I mean, yeah, he could start, I could see if we have some old equipment, he could just start making kettle corn and selling it outside Safeway or something if he wants. Yeah. We have some friends that did that for a while and they made decent money in the summer. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Kaden. I think that that's a good conversation about the people that God has used in your life, right? And I'm glad just to hear that, I expected with this question for you to say something about Matt. Just because I know that Matt's been a part of your life for a while, and you had him as a teacher and now have him as a pastor. But I think it was cool to hear about somebody that is just one of your peers, right? Because a huge part of what we want to exemplify with this podcast is the importance of being a believer and surrounding yourself with believers, like with peers, right? Fellow believers. And I mean, that's present in, like, we have this theme verse, right, for this season, and it's only come up so many times, especially at the beginning. But I think it's good if we, really focus on it as much as we can. And Ecclesiastes 4:12, right? Like, it's talking about, it's the encouragement there should be that, like, dude, don't be alone. Like, don't try and do this alone, because you won't be able to. But have people who are of like mind, right? Fellow believers who will lift you up when you need. And it was cool to hear about a person in your life that has done that.
And the first person that came up was Josh, your fellow, like your peer,
your man in arms.
Yeah.
Like, that's so great. And someone who God put in your life at such an early age too. And he's just been a constant. And I think that's really cool that, like, in a way, we haven't brought up the theme in a while, and I think we should have. And that made me think about that. And I was like, oh, that's a good example. So well done. So Josh, if you're hearing this, way to go, man. Well done being a good friend. And for those listening, we hope that just consider the ways in which you are a friend to people. And remember that whether you like it or not, you have lasting impact on people, right? You have influence on people. And that can be good or bad. But if you're living your life for God, then it should be a good one. So consider the ways in which you can. And, there are probably people in your life that you are a friend to. And it can be really easy, like, to just kind of keep being a friend to someone and for that to just become, normal and kind of like going through the motions every day or whatever. But I think we should never stop considering the ways in which we can better be friends to people. Because then we start to just kind of let people fall to the wayside. And be like, oh yeah, well, we've been friends for 10 years or whatever. Like, he doesn't need me to stop and check and make sure he's doing okay or whatever. And I mean, people really do. So consider how you can maybe revive, some of those friendships and be a good friend to people and really exemplify what it says in Ecclesiastes about lifting people up, right? And recognize the people that have done that for you and thank them for it, right? Thank God for them. So I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
So before we go,
hey, can you tell me a joke?
You knew it was coming. You've seen the show.
You've seen this multiple times. You can't be surprised.
I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, I'm gonna need to think of a joke for when I go on the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I didn't.
No.
Well, we are going to sit here until you give us one.
That is a common thing so far with this podcast. People know the joke's coming, and then they just sit. I didn't think of one.
Except for, was it Jacob that was like the moment that like...
I think the first episode he listened to where we asked someone to do that, he's like, if I'm ever on the show, I've got a joke.
Yeah.
And he has told me since Perry and I started dating, like early on, he's like, if I'm ever on the podcast, I have a joke. And like, no, Perry told me that he had said that, but I've known forever he's had a joke.
Please tell me that you guys actually asked him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
we didn't forget.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, no, and
That'd
it
be
was
so funny if you didn't ask him.
That would be
hilarious.
That would have been funny. That's a good joke. What was his joke? It was like, I don't remember. I just know that Hunter Hoover's cow jokes were pretty good. Pretty good. Might have been the best this season. No offense to everybody else, but it's the one that I've remembered and regularly just chuckle to myself about when it's like, it's. What do you call a cow when it jumps over a barbed wire fence?
Over the barbed wire fence.
It's terrible and utter disaster. So, dude, there's a joke that he said in that was like, what do you call a cow with a twitch, right? Beef jerky. Someone on an earlier episode than that had commented. It's on before we even started the show, the season, excuse me. When I did a little video like, here's the decorations for the new set. And I showed off the cow, or the bull. Someone had left that joke in the comments.
Really?
Yeah, and I
That's
just
incredible.
noticed it the other day. It's a Mexican K-pop star. That's his name in the Discord.
Dude, Jarrett was just seeing the
ahead of
future.
his time, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys,
Back to you.
the pressure's on.
Okay.
We gave you some time to think about it.
Why did the chicken cross the road?
Classic.
I don't know.
To get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock.
I refuse. That's a door I won't open.
Who's there?
The chicken.
That's a good one, though. I think you can put a spin on that one, too. If you don't want to make a kid feel bad and call him an idiot, you could just be like...
Or you could just make a kid feel bad and call him.
that is also true.
Yeah.
True too.
Yeah, I'll remember that for my son someday. Or change it.
I guess if you say it early enough in his life, he's gonna forget it anyways, right?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
Or it becomes a core memory.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It could be
a
core memory.
newborn. Hey, to get to the idiot's house. Knock, knock. The chicken.
You could tell that story to all of his friends.
Yeah. And they're like, wow, dude, your dad got you when you were a newborn. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. We're glad you were here. Thank you for listening. We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
That's a good one.